Good morning everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Monday, November 16th, 2020. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss, and here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. Right now the ES is up over 1%. That is in response to news that Moderna has provided a vaccine with an efficacy rate of 94.5%. which outdoes Pfizer's 90% here. So you're seeing an early spike on that news. Now, one thing I will remind you of is that when we got the Pfizer news, that was this spike. It pushed higher and then we backed off. Will that happen again today? Will we spike higher here, but do we close back below 35.87? That's the key level. That's the top of the key range here. And so far, price hasn't really been able to close beyond that level. Today, obviously in overnight trading, pre-market trading, it has spiked higher. But where do we close the day? If it's back below 3600, back below 35.87, we may see a secondary tail here. That secondary tail would slingshot price back toward 35.1175. That is the FOMC key level from November 5th. It continues to hold a support, but as soon as it gives way, it will give way big and fast, and we likely hit the lower 3400 quarter. In order for this thing to really continue higher again, we need to continue to hold above 35.87 overall in the near term. We could dip below it, but closing above it would be significant. Closing above that mid would be important, as price would likely continue toward 3700 in that case. So right now, the key level to watch by the end of the day, are we above or below 35.87? Alright, let's take a look here at the NQ. Now, very similarly to the last time the vaccine news came out, while the ES saw strength, the NQ saw selling pressure. And right now, this one is lower at the moment. So we're having, again, a break of the correlation there. Additionally, what you see here is the FOMC key level from November 5th here. There it is. It became resistance today. So price rallied into that level, 12.059.75, hit that level and has backed off tremendously from that zone. We're now at 11.9, below 11.9 at the moment. So is this a lower high reaction to the FOMC key level and to the large spike that occurred on the initial vaccine news? If so, we may be looking at another push downward, just as we did over the following couple of days here. Below 11.8 would open up a push and return likely back to retest this low and perhaps into that 11.355. As we mentioned before, 11.355 is a very good target. It's the FOMC key level from September. If we're taking this one offered as we did, the retest is becoming offered, then we likely drop into that level 11.355 ahead. The level to continue to watch here is 12K. Does price close above that level or below it? And right now, if we close below it, close as we are now or worse, it will begin to look like a lower high. If it can close through that level, it begins to look like a push beyond 2-day highs that could have a shot at retesting the month's high at 12.408.75. Alright, let's take a look now at crude oil. What you'll see with crude oil is a big day up here. Big day. Vaccine news for this one was over here, so this thing spiked higher. Again, 94.5% vaccine news here, and we're seeing it spike up again. That's a tremendous move through 41s. We did get right to about that 40 level. That was the first level target. We talked about rejection here, midpoint retest, and a continuation to 40, 39, then 38.5. We got basically to that 40, got within a nickel of that level. But this bounce here takes us way back up to a retest of 42s. And 42s is really where the resistance is. That level right there is going to be very important. You can see right across these highs here. Ever since price went offered there, the retests have been rejected in and around that zone. This was the deepest push through that zone we have seen, but again, another rejection. So this, does it become a lower high? Can it push through 42s, or do we see another rejection at these levels? Intraday, if we start to fall back below 41.50, it could start to open up a bit of a tail at the upper end of the day's range. One thing you got to just continue to watch is that blue line right here, previous month's high and that 42 round number. Do we close above or below that level? Do we start to fall back below the FOMC and leave a tail behind? Because if this turns into a tail at the upper end of the day's range and we close back below yesterday's high, that could be a failed new high within a down move that takes us again into that 38.35. So right now, 42s are the level to watch. Lastly, taking a look here at gold futures, you'll see with gold, it continues to hold the previous month's low. Right there, previous month's low. We had that major sell-off day here. That was as a response to Pfizer's vaccine news. Huge day down. Over here, Moderna's vaccine news, and we have seen it push lower. So you're seeing the correlations right now. ES up big, CL up big or up in both those cases. CL much more percentage-wise, up 4%. ES up just 1%. But gold down, tech down, and you're starting to see that correlation when we see positive vaccine news. So keep that in mind. One thing to look at over here is, again, this small range that is developed at the lows here of this recent move. It's building energy for a pop higher. I've talked about a narrow 3-day range. This is now developing into a narrow 4 or 5-day range. If we were to go up to 5 here, let's pop it up right there to 5. And you look at that range here, which you'll see again is a new reading here where we're 47% of ADR at 44.1 points. There's typically 92 to 93 points of range during a 5-day basis. So very soon we're about to pop higher. It's building the energy. This is looking like it's starting to develop into a failed new low. It looks like an extreme reversal finished in the previous hour for gold on an hourly basis. So again, this looks positive here. At some point here later on in the week, do we pop back above 1900? Because now it opens up a push into the 1970 zone above. The FOMC key level from September is 1970.9. That becomes a very good target to the upside as this thing continues to trade in an expanding formation. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the week. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.